All right, everybody, it's Andreas Hale, senior combat sports writer for the Sporting News, and I'm here with Tony Ferguson, who fights Bobby Green at UFC 291. Tony, before we start with anything else, I want to ask, how are you doing? How's everything going on with you? I know you're up there training. You talked about training with bears, but how's life treating you in general, my friend?
How was life treating you, Andres?
It's good, man. I'm excited. It's a big weekend in combat sports because UFC 291 is upon us, and then Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. So I'm busy, but what about you?
I'm more than busy, man. I'm out to kick some ass this weekend. I got a guy that wants to talk some, which is really, really healthy for me because any person that ever talks with me gives me the fuel to fire. And out there in Big Bear was actually what I needed, man, because there was no joke, man. I needed to get back to where I needed to be. So mentally, physically, I'm right where I need to be.
How much did Bobby Green talking trash to you? How much does that help you get motivated for a fight, or do you need that at all these days?
Now, I don't need to motivate me these days, man. I'm going to be real with you. So a lot of people really don't know me. So when it comes down to it, nobody really understands me or knows me. I could have put on a facade for many years, actually for 5 losses in a row. So when everybody starts to believe that that's all I am, it's really cool to put out like a magic trick. I don't know if you saw my Instagram recently, right? Nobody even knew that I knew magic. So I want to put that out there. It was like, oh, you do a lot of different. Oh yeah, for sure, man. But if I throw all my tickets out there and you guys are gonna like, oh yeah, this is all he does now. Well, for instance, you know what I mean? You have Sugar Shane Malley, like who made fun of like one of my videos, right, for going like viral for doing all this silly shit. Now this always doing all the silly, painting his hair and doing all this other stuff. So I'm a trendsetter. So when it goes down to it, I had to take a second off of it and get my energy back because a lot of these younger athletes, they're looking up to me to like kind of pave the way or try to give them a little bit of advice or give millions of dollars away of like inspiration and doing all this other for every year. So instead of like basically focus on everybody else, I focused on myself, and I'm smiling, dude. I'm gonna be real with you. So I'm the same deadly mother that I was even when I wasn't out there. So it's awesome right now.
Let me ask you, man, because you mentioned that you're doing it for yourself, and I know you said this before. What was the breaking point for you where you realized that I can't do this for anybody? This is all about me because I'm the only one out there fighting.
Nah, not even that, man. When it came down to I hate talking about this. When it came down to every single one of my losses, even Nate Diaz, man, the last one, we were supposed to fight Li Jing Liang, and the interest really wasn't there. This mother was just too busy doing other shit. And I'm sitting there, and then they offered me some decent money with it. I'm like, this is kind of cool. Here, let's get you out of here. Let's smack you on the ass. Let's send you on your way so that way you can get the out of here because you really don't want to be a part of this organization. Me, I'm all about my organization when it comes down to it. Win or loss is there to know who the I am. And you know what I mean? A person who demands presence doesn't have to say anything. When he walks into a room, everybody becomes quiet. You obviously know what the is up. So, I mean, honestly, it's a little bit different. So my prerogative is just for myself. It doesn't have to be for anybody else. Never was. But it always kind of like, seemed to just try to carry the company. And I've always done that. I always put my belt on the line. I've done a lot of things. And that created a lot of friction for me. And that really pissed me off because I really didn't see much after, except for my fans. My fans, I'm the type of guy that like loses 5 fights in a row to test my fans' loyalty. And it's funny as but I'd be real. My fans are so hardcore. They got my back no matter what. And it's dope, man. But like when I say doing this for me, and literally I really am, it's not just because, I'm pissed off at the world. No, absolutely not. Me and my religion were awesome. Catholic. I love Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I'm very passionate with my religion. I'm very passionate with my spirituality. And right now, when it comes down to my physical and my emotional well-being, nothing's gonna touch me, dude. I'm not even playing. It doesn't matter. Like you can roll your eyes, you can say whatever the you want. But I'm gonna be real with you. You're not here training with me. You're not there in the mountains like getting chased by bears. You're not doing this kind of that I am. And when I realized that I'm not like anybody else, because I grew up playing all these sports and championship level, I thought everybody else was doing the same that I was doing. Waking up every morning, doing all the same stuff. And when I realized that I'm something special that nobody else is doing the same that I've been doing for 30 plus years, that's when I started thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? Let's have some fun now. So when you saw in the last embedded, you saw me kind of smiling, doing the ooga booga booga kind of. Yeah, man. When you got other people telling you and complimenting you and how fast you are and how ferocious you're looking, it's a little bit different, man.
Let me ask you this, man, because there's so many stories that of people trying to call for your retirement. They don't know you. The other fighters have lost before. Why do you think they come down on you so hard?
Everybody in retirement. I don't even want to hear that. The question, everything else like that. Move on. Next question.
I hear you. I hear you. So let's talk about this because the fight with Bobby Green, it seems like one of those fights that's going to be an absolute war. Are you in it for wars these days? Are you in it to have fan-friendly fights, or what's in it for Tony Ferguson at this point in your career?
I'm in it for a TF finish. That's the Tony Ferguson tactical finish.
Can you explain what a Tony Ferguson tactical finish is, or do we have to wait and see at UFC 291?
You ever see me wear anybody else's blood, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You saw me smiling during that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's scarier than that? And a motherfucker that's more relentless than that.
Nothing, bro. Nothing. Nothing is more scarier than that. You think Bobby Green's coming to fight on Saturday night, or is he going to be in for a rude awakening if he thinks this is going to be a walkthrough?
He's a I'm gonna be real with you. A gangster is cool as right? You know what I mean? But when you want to really be gangster, when you see your opponent in front of you, you don't say you cower down. I'm gonna be real with you. Next time you text me on Father's Day and you want to try to get in my head and you want to do some other stupid like that, Bobby, I owe you a few. I'm gonna be real with you, and that's just between me and him because I go back with them. He texted me, right? It was funny as and he's like, "Hey, El Cuckoo, you know who this is?" I was like, "Yeah, it says maybe Bobby Green on the top." What the like, really? I had your number saved already, dude. Like, and then I said, "Happy Father's Day," because I already knew it was him. And then he wants to respond, like, kind of like before I even responded back, he said something along the lines of like, "This is your opponent," and I was like, and then he said, "Happy Father's Day" afterwards, and I'm like, "Look, dude, you don't have to create an enemy to beat an enemy." I was like, one of the fun things is like I coached many athletes. I've coached a young up and coming Irish fighter named Cam Walsh. He's up and coming. I don't have to do much with that, dude. Just being around training. Same thing with another dude. I have like my other, but I'm like looking at this dude and he's texting me and I'm like, what the? You're mentally broke. You're trying to get in my head. I was like, you know what? I didn't want to hear it. That's why I said Happy Father's Day. It was chill, super chill on that one. I laughed with my wife a little bit about that, and I started cracking up. And I was like, really? It's certain types of things in athletes and football players and the wrestlers and baseball. Like some people need to psych themselves out in order to get and create an enemy in order to beat an enemy. I'm not one of those dudes. Maybe I used to when I was little, but I'm not anymore. Like you're already been out in your way. You retired. I don't know how many times, Bobby. Look, let me help you out one more time by making quick.
Hmm. You were in the comment section when they announced the Conor McGregor Michael Chandler Ultimate Fighter thing. It seemed like you were upset that you didn't get that opportunity. The reason why I bring that up is
no, the reason why is because I was supposed to go on with Fathead Tiramisu. Now, with no excuses, that even bounced out of the country because he couldn't even help his cousin win that fight. So there was major more reasons why than that. We already knew that we were going to be coaching on the Ultimate Fighter season, whatever the it was, back in November. So nobody, you guys didn't know that. You guys heard that back in like when it was like January, February, when, oh yeah, Conor's stepping in. Well, that's how much you guys pay attention to this. We already know a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. So I can't embellish too much on it, but Conor didn't want that. I'm in a lawsuit with Conor right now. So when it goes into that, he did some underground with Paradigm, or not, with some other stuff where we're in that, man. That sucks, but you know what I mean? That kind of just has to go out the window. And you saw him bring all this. I haven't watched the season, but he brought all of his people over there and he's trying to win. And I guess he's not doing too well. I'm glad I didn't go on the show. I handled a lot of cool which I ended up needing to be. And that would have took a lot of time for my kid. I got a 2-year-old and I got a 7-year-old. I'm coaching football right now. I coach baseball. I did a lot of all that stuff. I'm going to be real with you. I'm handling big numbers when it comes down to making sure that I go out there and I'm squashing this dude and putting in that practice time. So there ain't that's going to happen anymore. I'm loving every minute of this. Even doing these pain in the ass interviews, asking me about retirement or whatever the it is. I don't give a shit. I'm back, baby, and I'm loving this. For UFC 291, I'm back on Saturday, and you guys are gonna watch me get my hand raised in victory.
Man, Tony, I love the mentality. But I noticed that you've also been talking about other opportunities, and you went back to school and getting your business degree. How much have you put investing in yourself, not just as a fighter, but as a businessman? It seems like you're very astute in business these days.
I've been that way my whole entire life, but everybody wants to roll their eyes. I try to tell them all the time, even old management, been like, look, I have all these opportunities and I have to delegate. Maybe like I have like 5 or 6 agents that work for me, dude. And it's going to be real. So when it goes down to it, I'm delegating businesses and I'm handling on a different level. And if they don't like it, they don't have to be doing business with me. But all of my business partners have always grown. I've taken them to the top level. Every single one of the products are going across the countries. And even you're talking about just in different types of levels of marketing. Like it's just awesome. I've always been that way. I've always loved it. And you can see it when it goes to my Instagram posts or even on Embedded. You're getting 95% of the comments that are out there about my when it's only like maybe a minute and a half slot. So people want to see me. They want to have me out there, but there's no buts, man. I enjoy it. I've always done the business type of thing. Even from bartending all the way through college and making sure that people, and even from my being a captain of a wrestling team or whatever the it is, it's always about that team, whatever I'm on at that point in time. Always been a UFC fighter, and whatever that comes with it is always there for the fans and making sure that I put forth my best foot effort as far as an entertainer, as far as an athlete. A little bit more less on the entertainment side because I don't have to do that no more. I've earned that right. I'm 39 years old. I've been competing in sports for 30 plus years. Hey, you know what? Let me go out there. Let me demonstrate that. Hey, now I'm in my prime. Oh, you're in your prime now at 39? Well, it's a little bit different. I've been competing for so long. Yeah, I'm in my prime. I feel great now. And when I got my wrestling coach for the last 18 years, he's back here and he's watching me, and I got my jiu-jitsu trainers and I've got everybody else, and they're telling me that I'm moving different, and it's awesome. They can see it in the eyes. So if you don't believe it, go look at my pictures. You can see it, man. You can see if I'm still there.
And that's one of my last questions, because you talk about you being in your prime right now, and people always attribute that to a certain age. But is it 90% mental is when you reach your prime, or how do you attribute that to?
Well, I had to get down to it. I put on new muscle, which is funny, right? So when I'm doing all those things out that I had to do in Big Bird, like dragging tires up hills, and this is leg work. A lot of people don't want to do leg work, especially if they don't have anybody telling them what to do. I've been doing this for a long time, and I outsourced a lot of my different types of workouts. I outsourced a lot of my jits, a lot of my stand-up, of course, my stand-up on that one. And you know what? When it comes down to it, it's up to you to put the puzzle together. And if you have a missing piece of puzzle, you have to kind of search for it, man. You're either going to give up or you're going to go search for it. And so I went searching for my missing puzzle link, and what that was just me. I had to put everything together. I can't find another coach. I try to bring a coach in. He's a jackass. You want to be like that? You want to say, give me a letter? Oh, you, dude, get the out of here. Where the were you when I needed you? Piece of You want to leave somebody hanging high and dry? You. You're not needed. You know what? And instead of me worrying about somebody else like that, what I did was, instead of trying to fill it in, is I put myself in perspective where I need to put myself and put my business foot forward and say, you know what? You're fired. You're done. And I had to hire right people to put myself in there. And I feel very confident going this weekend.
Beautiful, man. Well, listen, Tony, I don't want to hold you up too much longer. I appreciate the time, man. I appreciate that you still refer to yourself as the champ, and hopefully we can see you back in championship form.
Absolutely.
And people can stop having these conversations about what happens in your future and just enjoy.
Who gives a Let them talk. Let them talk. It gives everybody something to get hyped about. If they ain't talking about me, then they don't like me. At least, you know what, good or bad, at least I'm in the mind. So that's what's up.
I love it, Tony. I appreciate you. Good luck this weekend. I hope to talk to you again soon, man. Thanks.